Hello, everyone. It's great to see a lot of familiar faces, along with some new faces. So whether this is your first Restart conference, or your second or third or even fourth, thank you all for coming. For those of you who don't know yet, my name is Ophir Shay. I am Noni, or Yaron, as you heard before, his older brother. He was my closest friend, and everything we do here at Next October, for me, is first and foremost in his honor. I'm going to run through a short recap of what Next October is, and then I'll give a few updates to some of you who've already heard about Next October. So just as a reminder, our main three goals at Next October, they start with commemoration. First and foremost, we want meaningful commemoration. Second, we want to create economic impact on the state of Israel with the help of all these startups, and you heard about their contribution to the Israeli economy just a few minutes ago. And then we want this to be our answer to the world. I was just talking to somebody earlier today. The victory image that we keep discussing is the picture of the young CEO holding a picture of that 86-year-old from Kfar Aza or that 3-year-old from Be'eri on the NASDAQ. That's our victory image, and this is what we're going to do on the way to help these startups get there. So we have startups sign up to Next October. Our amazing matching team helps match these companies if they do not come with a name from home, because unfortunately a lot of these entrepreneurs already know somebody. We help match with the right individual. We suggest a lot of commemoration initiatives throughout the years to help them commemorate. And then on the other end, we want to connect these startups to local and international entrepreneurs and keep exposing them to opportunities like the one we are at today. And what are the startups committing to? First of all, they're committing to doing good. And I know it's a vague saying, but we want genuine entrepreneurs. That means if we ask them to help another company or maybe volunteer at maybe a Next October event, maybe another event, we know these are the right people for that mission. We want them to commemorate according to their capacity. A lot of these companies are early stage. They probably will not be able to afford what Google or Apple is able to afford, but they can still be incredibly meaningful as individuals to whatever family they're connected to. And then, of course, we want them to commemorate all these people for who they were. My brother is never just a name to me. He was an athlete, he was a comedian, he was the funniest guy I knew, and so intelligent. And like him, I heard Mike say 1,200 people earlier. There are now over 1,700 people, individuals with characters, with families, with their own stories. And we want that to be remembered as we're commemorating them. We recently expanded our reach. We're no longer just looking for very early stage companies. We're very open to startups who are Series A, even sometimes post-Series A, as long as they're committed to the Next October mission, and as long as we qualify them with our volunteers as valid opportunities. And of course, there needs to be an Israeli connection within these startups. Then of course, we're also looking for investors. We want to encourage great investors, once we've screened all these companies and brought them up to you, to invest in our Next October companies. We have an incredible steering committee. You may recognize a lot of these names over here. One of them was actually mentioned a few minutes earlier, Charlie Fetterman from Silver Tech in this very building. There he is in the back. I didn't see you earlier. So thank you, Charlie, and all these other great steering committee members. And thank you to the incredible ecosystem that signed up to become part of Next October. And you're seeing small companies, large companies, legal firms, accounting firms, you name it, everybody aligned with the Next October mission, connecting with us. Now, I want to talk about a few specific examples, a few specific commemoration examples. First one is Microcon. Microcon was founded by a founder called Chen Almog. Chen Almog happened to be the commander of a unit in the IDF called Ophir Shamayim. Ophir Shamayim is a drone unit. He's been in the military for so many years. He later founded a company called Microcon for defense tech. Surprise, surprise. Unfortunately, Chen, just like me, lost his sibling on the day of October 7th. Chen, I don't know where he brought the powers from, decided he wasn't going to commemorate his brother because it was so hard for him, and decided to commemorate somebody from his unit. We eventually connected Chen with Eden Nimri. Eden from Nachal Oz, or she served in Nachal Oz, on the morning of October 7th, in her pajamas, ran into a shelter and offended soldiers behind her. She fought the terrorists down. She eventually was able to save the lives of 12 female soldiers behind her in shelter, but sacrificed her life in that battle. The connection was intuitive, it just made sense, and they took it to a great extent to make sure that she's commemorated in every single event that they run. The image you see here on the left is what every individual walking into the microcon offices sees as they walk in. I know it's in Hebrew, but you're going to have to trust me on this. It tells a little bit about Eden's life, about her passion for swimming. You may be able to tell there's a propeller here. Chen walked into the Nachal Oz base weeks after and found a piece of a drone from that same unit that he was able to collect and put on display in her memory. I know that they're in touch with Eden's family and are planning to do much more as they move forward. Another example is Brainies. Brainies is an ed tech company. They developed a platform, a device where they place a screen of theirs on tables in learning centers. They work with the ultra-Orthodox community. They work in schools. They work with the Arab community. And through storytelling and interactive, playful learning, they educate people on all sorts of different purposes. We connected Brainies with Chana Kritzman. I don't know who here heard the story. Chana was 88, and unfortunately, during a rescue operation from her home in Kfar Aza, she was brutally murdered. In her life, though, we've been told that generations over generations of Kibbutz Be'eri grew up listening to Chanale's stories. She made stories about everything, anywhere, with animals and people. And what Brainies did is they brought these stories back to life, and they will never be forgotten. Because their app, their device now hosts all of Chana's stories within the app. Furthermore, Chana was volunteering in the Be'eri library, and they said once the library is going to be rebuilt, they are donating their devices to be right in the middle of the Be'eri library. So Chana's stories, they keep on going. They're going to be here in 10, 20, 30, and hopefully 100 years from now too. Chana won't be forgotten. We commemorate people from across the entire Israeli society. One example we have is another company called Fenota. They're a biotech company. They use AI to help understand blood tests. And they were connected with Sufyan Dagash. Sufyan, on the morning of October 7th, was at home. He's a soldier, but he was on vacation. He heard what was going on, and his father says he was crying. His dad asks him, "Why are you crying?" He said, "I can't stand what my people are going through right now." He drove all the way down south to fight with his brothers from his unit. Unfortunately, 3 months later, he sacrificed his life in the Gaza Strip. The connection that was made with the Dagash family and the founders here was just incredible because they both got to learn about the different cultures. They started celebrating holidays together. The founders learning Jews' holidays, the Dagash family learning what it means to celebrate Rosh Hashanah or Pesach for us, Passover. And I know that they plan so many more meaningful initiatives in the future. And that leads me to where we are today. Last time we spoke here in New York was about 6 months ago. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? 6 months ago? Yeah. We had a couple hundred companies. I am so happy to say that we are finally at a point where I cannot remember every single company in our portfolio. I just can't. I can't follow every single commemoration initiative being initiated by all of our incredible founders. And this just keeps going on. And you're going to meet many next October founders today. Make sure to ask them about their commemoration and make sure to ask how you can help them. We have hundreds of business development partners across the globe. Again, hundreds of qualified mentors. We try to do our best to match these two companies in need of these mentorship opportunities. We have over 60 volunteers, and some of you may have met my mother over here. She manages that operation fiercely. Everybody's scared of her. Don't mess with my mom, she's the boss. We've ran dozens of ecosystem events locally in Israel, hosting startups in so many different areas of interest, whether it be medical events or office hours with VCs and so much more. And we even participated in 7 international conferences, just like we do here today, across the globe. We opened the market 3 times, once in Tel Aviv, once in London, even here in the NASDAQ. Like I said, our dream is not to open this as next October, but to have a next October company with that picture of maybe Hannah Kritzman, maybe Sufyan Dagash, maybe so many more people. We want them to receive that stage globally. I want to welcome you all to join next October, whatever hat you're wearing. We're looking for more startups. We were able to reach an incredible number of 350 startups signed up for next October. Unfortunately, the number keeps increasing. There are so many more people losing their lives daily, and we want to make sure we're commemorating them. We haven't reached the 50% mark, so if you know an Israeli startup that could be interested in signing up and committing to the Next October initiative, we welcome you to invite them to sign up. And if you feel like this idea resonates with you and you want to be part of Next October financially, because we do need to fund this operation, or in any other way, please feel free to introduce yourself. The video you're about to watch is short. It was taken by my family in Kerem Shalom, as you can see, in August of 2024. This event was a planting of a new vineyard in Kerem Shalom, roughly 1 year after the horrific events of October 7th. The girls you're about to see dancing and smiling in this video on the morning of October 7th and on the day of October 7th were probably hugging their parents worried, not knowing what might eventually happen to them. They were destined for the same fate as their neighbors just a few miles north in Kibbutz Kfar Aza, Niroz, Be'eri. Thanks to my younger baby brother and his friends, they were able to celebrate here. They will be able to celebrate here. Once again, they were destined for the same fate. They will raise families. They will be happy. And I think this is the best message to end this presentation with. Just like we always say, this is our message to the world. They came to destroy. We're building a better world with our resilience, our optimism, and the entrepreneurship, the spirit of entrepreneurship that I hope you all share. Thank you very much.